What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome to another Psychologically Gaming, where today we're going to be going over the concept of choice in the character Wolf in Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. So the concept of choice is a unique one in this game, where you have multiple endings. So when I mean multiple endings, you have four endings that you can get in Sekiro. So let's go over these endings, and you're going to see the evolution of choice that Wolf makes in each one of them. Now, this is an interesting Psychologically Gaming because normally I dedicate part of it to understanding the character and what their mental illness would be, so to speak, if I were diagnosing them. And keep in mind, I don't have a master's in psychology, I have a Bachelor of Arts in psychology. So whenever I'm talking about these characters, please understand this is for fictional purposes only. Don't take this seriously. With each ending, you see the progress actually of how his mind works with the concept of choice, and it's just especially prominent in the first one, because the first one is the bad ending. Like, this is the ultimate bad guy ending of bad endings. And that is the Shura ending, which it's the follow the Iron Code ending. You basically don't turn your back on your father Owl, and you are just a menace. You basically become the demon of hatred, and that's the big old monster that the sculptor turned into. So we basically turned into the thing that we did not want to do and we hate the most. Wolf made the choice, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's making your own unique individualistic choice that can either better you or worsen you. So the next ending that you can get, and actually it's the one that I got, was the Immortal Servants. It's the easiest one to get besides the Shura ending, because the Shura ending, it actually ends off the game earlier than if you were to have continued it to get any other ending in the game. This ending kills Kudo. He asks you to execute him with the Mortal Blade and permanently remove the dragon's heritage from the world. Now, this ending, it's kind of just the mid-ground. It's neither good nor bad. It just is what it is. It has nothing to do with choice in the matter, but someone is actively telling you, hey, you know, end it. Just let this just be done. Okay. The next ending is the third ending, and it's a purification. Serve Kudo alternative version. Now, this is the flip side to the second ending. It states here that this is the alternative good guy ending, where you serve Kudo and accomplish his goal while finding a way to keep him alive. Now, the way that you get this ending is you have to listen to a secret conversation that Emma and Kudo are having, and I didn't go back to play it to get this ending. I'm still just letting the entire game seep into my soul before I ever go back and play it again, because that game was just heavy. So with this next ending that you have, it's a little more lengthy to get to it for the purification ending, but I feel like this ending is actually some of the most telling ending of Wolf's character, because he ends up sacrificing his life so Kudo can have the human life that he just always wanted. And I feel like it's very unique too, because Wolf was there with him through everything, literally death till they part. In case it was Wolf's death that parted both of them. You know what I mean. So the fourth and final ending that you get to get is Return Dragon's Homecoming, and as it states here, the last option here is probably the most complicated and secret one. Your investment really pays off though, because Return ending is arguably the best. You get a few extra items that have big impacts on the game, and you can access all levels. There's a bit of a convoluted process to get to the ending, and some actions need to be taken at specific times. And this is true, I think, with the second one, to be honest with you, because if you don't do it in a specific order, then you kind of just, you know, screwed yourself over to an extent. In this one, if I understand this ending correctly, you are basically trying to find the dragon's home in order to completely extinguish and demolish immortality in its entirety. So I think as this ending right here is a telltale sign of Wolf's commitment to Kudo, and the choice that he makes and the investment that he has in Kudo's life, and in the process of eliminating all of immortality. So we go from the Shura ending to being just this asshole that doesn't care about anybody but destroying everything in its path, to caring about the existence and well-being of others in their entirety. I think it's a real human growth process that we see from point A to point D, and I think it's so cool that each ending shows a very human progress of growth and development, and just the ability to choosing one's path, whether it be, you know, complete devastation and destruction or complete restoration of humanity. Okay, so I wanted to be able to understand what the last ending was so it's clear for you guys. It states here that in this ending, the Divine Child of Rejuvenation will help Sekiro and Kuro return the Divine Dragon to its place of origin somewhere west of Japan. To do so, Sekiro will feed the Divine Child both the dried serpent viscera and fresh serpent viscera, which will allow the Divine Child to shed frozen tears. Giving the Divine Dragon tears and frozen tears to Kuro will allow the Divine Child to perform a cradling ritual and absorb Kuro within herself. Sekiro and the Divine Child set out to travel west to return the dragon from whence it came and finally end the dragon's heritage from returning to Japan, which then severs immortality altogether. So it is a lengthy process, and it's something that I actually want to try to get. If I'm ever going to try to do or redo the game Sekiro, I'm going to try to get that ending because it's an absolutely beautiful ending that you can get. I'm on New Game Plus right now, and I think I actually did get all of the ingredients to do that ending. I just wasn't able to get to one thing at the right time because, again, this is a very time sensitive ending that you can get. But to go back to my main point, we see the process of choice, and we see how choice affects Wolf and everyone around him. We see how your actions can have clear and distinctive consequences. But that was it for today's episode of Psychologically Gaming, which had a little bit of a philosophical spin on it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you guys want me to do any other Psychologically Gaming videos on any other Sekiro characters, please let me know down in the comments below and I will add them to the list. But if you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell down below. And I also post Patreon stuff, early access, all that thing. They range from like $1 per tier to $20 per tier. So let me know if that's something that you would want to do by signing up down in the description below. There's a link right there for you. But stay casually nerdy, you guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, you guys.